My beloved child, listen to me not with the ears of the flesh, but with the deepest place of your wounded soul. Do not scroll past this moment. What is taking place right now is not a random coincidence, because heaven has orchestrated this exact second for you. You have reached the very edge of your strength. You are standing at a precipice, and I know you have whispered in the dark that you are ready to end it all. You feel like there is nothing left to hold on to. The weight on your shoulders has become unbearable. You look around and see only closed doors, and the silence of heaven has felt like a heavy blanket over your life while you struggle to breathe. But I need you to pause right here. Breathe in this moment. The enemy wants you to believe that I have completely abandoned you. That is a terrible lie. I see the exact pain you are trying to hide from the world. You are the silent endurer. You carry the heavy burdens of everyone around you. You offer warm smiles to strangers while your own heart is breaking into 1,000 pieces. And when the quiet night comes, you lay in the dark and let the tears fall quietly on your pillow. You make sure no one hears you weep. You think I am completely blind to this secret agony. I have collected every single tear you dropped in the shadows. I felt the physical ache in your chest when you asked why this storm is happening. You have prayed until you have no words left. You just sit in the empty silence and hope that I will somehow rush in to rescue you. And yet the morning comes, and the deep pain is still sitting right there. You feel entirely forsaken. You wonder if your faith was just a foolish dream. Do not turn away from my voice right now. You assume that because I have been quiet, I have walked away from your broken life forever. But my silence is never my absence. You think this crushing pressure is the absolute end of your story. You truly believe there is no way out of this dark valley because you cannot see the path forward. I am stepping into your darkness today. I am holding your shaking hands. The heavy thoughts that race through your mind are not your own. There is a silent attack currently targeting your peace and your very will to live. The unseen darkness wants to completely isolate you. It desperately wants to convince you that ending the struggle is your only option left. But you must hear the glorious truth from heaven today. This is not the end of your book. This is merely the turning of a painful page. You have poured out your pure heart to people who only took from you. You tried to buy temporary peace by giving away valuable pieces of yourself. Now you stand here feeling completely empty. You look at the sudden closing of those massive doors as a terrible failure. You call it a painful rejection from a cold universe. But my beloved child, please open your spiritual eyes. I did not close those doors to hurt you. I saw the dangerous traps carefully hidden behind those very doors. I had to permanently sever those ties because I clearly saw the toxic manipulation waiting to destroy you. What you perceive as a crushing loss is actually my divine rescue. I am clearing the difficult ground right now. I am removing the toxic roots so I can bring you into something much greater. You cannot see the mighty foundation I am building in the dark. Your physical body is completely exhausted. Your weary mind is trapped in a vicious loop of endless overthinking. You try to figure out how to fix massive problems that you simply cannot control. You carry the heavy weight of the entire world on shoulders that were never designed to hold it. Lay down your heavy armor today. You do not have to fight this terrible battle alone anymore. I am stepping into the chaos with absolute authority. I know exactly how close you came to giving up entirely. I know the precise moment your fragile spirit almost broke under the immense pressure, but I am telling you today that an insane miracle is already set in motion. The beautiful breakthrough you have begged for is actually closer than your very breath. Do not leave this place before the dawn breaks. You have survived the darkest night for a truly profound reason. What you are about to witness will shatter every logical expectation. The high courtroom of heaven has been carefully reviewing your case while you wept on the floor. Every bitter injustice you suffered has been permanently recorded. Every time you chose to keep going despite the overwhelming pain, I took special notice. The enemy thought he had finally pushed you to the absolute breaking point, but he made a fatal mistake. He underestimated my grace. I am about to unveil what has been entirely hidden behind the closed scenes of your life. There is a massive shift happening in the spiritual realm, right over your weary head. The rusty chains that have held you in this endless cycle of misery are finally beginning to crack. You must stay close to me and listen very carefully. I am preparing a grand table for you right in the middle of this terrible storm. The miracle is already walking towards your front door. Come closer to me now, and let your heavy walls fall down. You have spent years building a thick fortress to protect your fragile heart from more devastating pain. You walk through the world wearing a brave face, but I see the deep cracks hiding just beneath the surface of your beautiful smile. You do not have to pretend to be strong here. This space is perfectly safe for you. I know how much energy it takes just to get out of bed some mornings. Your physical body is completely drained, and your weary mind feels shattered into a million pieces. You give to the people around you until your own cup is totally empty. You are the empathetic overgiver. You always make sure everyone else is happy, but no one ever stops to ask if you are truly okay. It is a very lonely way to live. You sit in rooms full of people and still feel entirely isolated from the world around you. You quietly listen to their problems and dry their tears, while your own silent cries echo loudly in the dark. I have watched you swallow your words because you did not want to be a burden. You diminish your own needs to keep the peace. That ends today. You have carried the impossible expectation that you must fix everything. When situations fall apart, you automatically blame yourself and carry the heavy guilt as if it rightfully belongs to you. You replay conversations late at night and wonder what you did wrong. But my child, you cannot control the actions of broken people. Their inability to love you right is not your personal failure. Let that heavy burden slide off your weary shoulders right now. Take a deep breath and release the toxic tension you have been holding tightly in your jaw. You have been running in a permanent state of survival for far too long, and your nervous system is exhausted from constantly anticipating the next disaster. I am commanding the chaotic storm in your mind to be still. People have taken terrible advantage of your pure and generous spirit. They recognized your bright light, and they used it to warm themselves while carelessly leaving you in the freezing cold. You felt the sharp sting of betrayal from the exact hands that should have protected you, and that cruel rejection made you question your own fundamental worth. You wondered if you were unlovable. Hear my absolute truth right now. Their selfish choices do not define your sacred identity. You are beautifully made and deeply cherished in my heavenly kingdom. I saw every single time they dismissed your feelings or made you feel incredibly small because they were threatened by your grace. I felt the sharp pain in your chest when you realized they were not going to choose you. I was standing right beside you through it all. I am sweeping a divine light over your hidden emotional wounds right now. The deep scars of childhood rejection and the bitter aches of adult betrayal are completely visible to my loving eyes. You try to heal yourself by reading more books or working much harder. But human effort alone cannot stitch a broken spirit back together. Only my perfect love can reach those deeply buried, shattered places. You have lived with a quiet anxiety that hums constantly in the background of your daily life. It tells you that the other shoe is always about to drop, and it whispers dangerous lies that any good thing will eventually be snatched away from your tired hands. But I did not give you a spirit of agonizing fear. You are allowed to rest your tired mind in my secure presence. You do not have to perform or achieve anything spectacular to earn my deep affection. The world constantly demands endless productivity, and it coldly measures your human worth by your bank account. But I look directly at the quiet beauty of your enduring soul. You are entirely enough just exactly as you are right now. Let the tears fall if they need to flow. You have held them back for so long because you falsely thought crying was a shameful sign of weakness. But those tears are a holy release of the bitter poison you have swallowed over the years. Water the dry ground of your soul with your honest grief. I am catching every single drop in my hands, and I am bringing you true healing. You have felt like a massive disappointment because your life does not look like the successful plan you imagined. You see others moving forward rapidly, while you feel completely stuck in a painful and silent waiting room. You compare your quiet struggles to their loud victories and feel a heavy shame. But human timelines are completely meaningless in my divine kingdom. Your unique path requires a very different kind of intense spiritual preparation. The heavy pressure you have endured is absolutely not a harsh punishment for your past mistakes. It is the intense heat required to forge a weapon of massive spiritual power, and you are being prepared for a magnificent battle. You are not falling behind the others. You are simply being drawn back. The tension of being drawn back is incredibly uncomfortable. But when I finally release you, you will fly further and strike truer than anyone could possibly imagine. I know the waiting hurts and the awful silence is agonizing, but I am right here sitting with you in the messy ruins of your broken plans. You are completely safe here. You are fiercely loved beyond all human comprehension. You have looked at your current situation and called it a complete failure. You see the heavy doors that slam shut right in front of your face. You feel the crushing weight of the delay, and you honestly believe that heaven has totally rejected your desperate prayers because nothing is moving forward. But you are looking at your life through the limited lens of human logic. I need to shatter that false perspective right now. What you are experiencing is absolutely not a rejection from my hand. The terrible stagnation that frustrates you daily is actually a highly calculated maneuver. It is a profound spiritual strategy. You are the refined vessel being shaped in the fire. And what feels like a bitter curse to you is actually my deepest protection. You begged me to open that specific door a few months ago. You cried and pleaded for that specific opportunity to work out. You wanted that relationship to be the beautiful answer to your lonely prayers. But I saw the hidden venom. I saw the sharp teeth of the trap disguised as a wonderful blessing. If I had given you what you asked for, it would have destroyed you. I will never hand you a poisonous snake just because you think it is a beautiful gift. The sudden silence that followed your loss was not an act of divine cruelty. I slammed that heavy door shut to save your life. I allowed the painful separation because I had to violently remove you from an environment that was secretly designed to drain your bright light. Pause right here in this moment. Listen not with your ears, but with your soul. There is something massive happening just beneath the surface of your daily struggles. You have noticed that every time you get close to a breakthrough, something bizarre happens to pull you backward. Your finances suddenly drain. Your energy completely crashes right before the finish line. This strange pattern is absolutely not a normal coincidence. There is a deeply rooted spiritual warfare operating behind the scenes to steal your peace. A dark force is intentionally trying to exhaust you into surrendering your divine inheritance. But I am exposing this unseen enemy to you today. You must clearly understand why the resistance against your life has been so incredibly heavy. The enemy does not violently attack empty places. Thieves do not aggressively break into massive vaults that hold absolutely nothing of value. The intense pressure you are feeling is direct proof of the massive treasure you carry within you. You are a highly guarded target because your future breakthrough carries enough power to shatter entire generational chains of misery. You have viewed your long waiting period as a barren wasteland. You think your precious time is just slowly slipping away into nothingness. You watch other people easily get what they want while you fight for every single breath. But heaven operates on a completely different economy. The long delay you hate so much is doing a profound work in your earthly character. If I elevate you before your foundation is solid, the massive weight of the blessing will crush you. Many people receive their gifts too early and completely lose their souls in the process. I love you far too much to let that tragedy happen to you. I am using this lonely season to dig your roots so deep into the solid bedrock of my eternal and unshakable truth. When the mighty storm eventually comes, those shallow trees will be violently ripped from the ground, but you will stand absolutely unmovable. Your current stagnation is actually a divine construction zone. I am expanding your capacity to hold the immense glory that is about to pour down upon your life. Do not despise the quiet days of small and difficult beginnings. You must stop apologizing for the season of preparation you are currently in. You feel incredibly embarrassed when people ask why you are still struggling in the same place. You lower your tired eyes and mumble weak excuses because you feel like a massive failure, but you owe no one any worldly explanation for the quiet masterpiece I am painting in your hidden life. They only see the dirty soil, but I see the powerful seed bursting underneath. The profound isolation you feel right now is merely a holy incubator. I have drawn a sacred boundary line around your life to keep the noisy distractions away. You needed this quiet space to finally hear my voice, above the chaotic demands of a world that never stops constantly shouting at you. You thought you were totally buried under the heavy weight of your failures. You thought the thick dirt of disappointment had swallowed you whole. But my beautiful child, you were never buried at all. You were carefully planted. And every single seed must endure the uncomfortable darkness of the soil before it can aggressively break through the surface to reach the warm light. The pressure you feel from every single side is just the shell of your old identity breaking open. You are transforming from a fragile victim into a mighty warrior. The very things that were sent to completely destroy your spirit are now the exact tools I am using to build your ultimate strength. Nothing in your painful journey has been wasted. Every bitter tear has a divine purpose. I want you to travel back in time with me to understand this profound mystery. You need to see a powerful example of a man who felt exactly as broken as you do today. He did absolutely everything right. He kept his pure heart clean. He honored my name when no one was looking. But his earthly reward was a sudden and violent betrayal from his own blood. Look closely at the life of Joseph. He was thrown into a dark and filthy pit by the very brothers he deeply loved. He cried out for mercy while they sat completely deaf to his agonizing screams. Does that sound painfully familiar to your own story? You have loved people who threw you away the moment you stopped being useful to their selfish plans. You felt the cold dirt hit your face while they casually walked away. Joseph thought the terrible pit was the absolute worst thing that could happen. He was pulled out and sold into harsh slavery in a foreign land, where he worked tirelessly to rebuild his shattered life from the ground up. He chose integrity over an easy escape, and what did his righteous choice earn him? It earned him a false accusation and a one-way ticket to a dark dungeon. He sat on the cold stone floor with heavy iron chains tearing into his bleeding wrists. He must have looked up at the tiny sliver of light and wondered if heaven was completely blind. He was punished severely for doing the exact right thing. You know this exact feeling of bitter injustice. You have done the right thing for years, but you only received more intense suffering in return. Joseph helped others escape the dungeon while he remained trapped in the dark. He interpreted the dream of the cupbearer and begged him to remember his name when he reached the palace. The cupbearer gladly took the blessing and completely forgot the broken man who gave it to him. How many times have you lifted someone up only for them to completely forget you later? You have poured your wisdom into people who took your gifts and left you behind. 2 entire years passed in that terrible silence for Joseph. 730 agonizing days of waking up in the same cold cell. He watched the heavy door stay firmly shut day after day. He had to fight the brutal whisper of the enemy, telling him that his grand dreams were a lie. But I want to reveal the massive spiritual truth that Joseph could not see in the dark. If I had answered his desperate prayers early and released him after a few months, he would have just been a free slave. He would have wandered the dry desert with no power and no real protection. That is the trap. His premature freedom would have completely aborted his monumental destiny. The heavy dungeon was not a place of punishment, it was a highly restricted military academy. I was systematically stripping away his naive trust in broken people. I was completely destroying his reliance on human rescue. He had to learn how to govern in the dark before I could ever trust him with the massive, blinding light of the palace. He was the refined vessel in the brutal fire. This is exactly why your current prison feels so incredibly restrictive. You are crying out for a quick release from your financial drought or your lonely isolation. You beg me to just open a small window so you can finally breathe. But a small window will not serve the monumental purpose I have planned for your entire bloodline. You are not meant to just barely survive this storm. You are being prepared to completely rule over the very things that are currently oppressing you. But to hold that level of divine authority, your earthly ego must be entirely crushed. Your desperate need for human validation must be starved to death in the silent dungeon. You must reach a point where you realize that I am the only one who holds the keys to your heavy iron gates. Joseph sat in that darkness feeling completely abandoned by the universe. He had no logical reason to believe that his situation would ever change. The natural evidence strongly pointed to a miserable death in a forgotten hole. The entire world moved on without him. The powerful people celebrated in the bright palace while the chosen savior of the nation rotted in the damp cellar. And right now, you feel exactly like him. You watch your friends buy houses and celebrate new seasons while you are stuck in a seemingly endless cycle of waiting. You feel the cold dampness of your own hidden dungeon. You ask yourself if I have simply forgotten to write the rest of your story. You wonder if this dark cell is where your beautiful dreams will permanently die. Pause right here. Let this heavy truth sink deep into your tired bones. I need you to understand that the darkest moment of the night is always right before the violent breaking of the dawn. Joseph was just one single day away from the most insane miracle of his entire life, but he had absolutely no idea it was coming. He just had to survive one more terrible night in the dark. Just like Joseph, your physical release is coming at the exact appointed time, but while you wait in this hidden space, you have a massive responsibility. You cannot just sit passively and let the unseen enemy tear your fragile mind apart piece by piece. You must step into your holy authority today. I am officially calling you to become the gatekeeper of your own soul. A gatekeeper does not casually leave the heavy doors wide open for anyone to wander inside. They stand fiercely at the threshold. They carefully inspect every single thought and every person trying to enter their sacred space. You have been far too careless with your beautiful mind, because you have allowed the dark whispers of the enemy to build a toxic nest in your tired head. You scroll endlessly through the chaotic noise of the world. You absorb the bitter panic and the loud anger of total strangers, and then you wonder why your weary spirit feels incredibly heavy when you finally close your eyes and try to pray in the quiet dark. You cannot consume the toxic garbage of the world all day and expect to hear the gentle whisper of heaven at night. This deep protection also applies to the broken people around you. You have a very soft and compassionate heart. You naturally want to heal every bleeding soul that crosses your path, but you must hear this hard truth today. Not everyone who cries out for your help actually wants to be healed, because many of them just want comfortable company in their familiar dark misery. You cannot be the emotional dumping ground for people who refuse to take responsibility for their own lives. When you constantly fix their messes, you are actually blocking them from learning my hard lessons, and you are delaying their own spiritual growth. Setting a firm boundary is not an act of selfish cruelty. It is an act of holy preservation for your own spirit. They will try to manipulate your tender conscience. They will loudly accuse you of changing or being arrogant because you finally said no. Let them be angry. Their temporary disappointment is completely irrelevant to your eternal assignment, and you must stop feeling guilty for locking the heavy door when the cold wind threatens to blow out your sacred candle. Guarding your physical boundaries is only the first vital step. You must also become a ruthless warrior against your own racing thoughts. Overthinking is not just a harmless personality trait. It is a dangerous spiral designed to completely paralyze your faith. When you sit alone and imagine the absolute worst outcomes, you are literally worshiping your deep fears instead of trusting my divine plan. You must grab those terrifying thoughts by the throat, and when your mind tells you that you will be utterly ruined, you must aggressively strike back. You must loudly declare that I am your ultimate provider. Do not let the dark lies float around in your head unchallenged. You have to fight the invisible warfare with the powerful weapon of spoken truth. I need you to establish a firm perimeter around your morning hours. Do not reach for the noisy distractions of the world the second you open your tired eyes, because that immediately invites the chaos to steal your morning joy. Give me the very first fruits of your waking mind. Sit in the absolute stillness for just a few moments to find your spiritual center. The enemy thrives in the chaotic rush. He operates in the frantic urgency that tells you everything must be solved immediately. But my spirit moves deeply in the calm waters. When you intentionally slow down your breathing, you violently strip the enemy of his main weapon, and you take back the absolute control of your internal environment. You establish your dominance. I know this level of strict discipline feels incredibly exhausting right now, because your spiritual muscles are sore from years of passive living, but you are training for a massive kingdom reign. A king does not let invaders sleep in his royal bedchamber. A queen does not let thieves dine at her grand table. Rise up and boldly evict the squatters from your precious mind. You have the divine authority to command the raging storm inside your head to cease. I have given you the heavy keys to the gates. Lock out the noisy panic. Lock out the bitter memories of the people who betrayed you. Seal the cracks where the cold anxiety seeps in, because once your holy fortress is fully secured, you will be truly ready for the massive revelation to come. Your mind is the ultimate battlefield. If the darkness can conquer your daily thoughts, it can easily conquer your entire destiny. And that is exactly why the spiritual attacks against your mental focus have been so incredibly violent lately. The enemy is absolutely terrified of what will happen when you finally realize your own power. He knows his time is running short. Stand tall as the vigilant gatekeeper today. Draw a thick line in the spiritual sand and refuse to back down. You are no longer the helpless victim being tossed around by the cruel waves of circumstance, but you are the powerful captain of your internal ship. Anchor your racing thoughts in my eternal promises, and watch the chaotic waters begin to perfectly still. You wonder why 10 hours of deep sleep still leaves you feeling entirely exhausted. Your physical body is resting in the bed, but your weary spirit is fighting a violent battle in the dark. I am pulling back the heavy curtain today to reveal the unseen warfare. You are absolutely not fighting against normal human fatigue or simple daily stress. There is a highly coordinated spiritual attack operating directly against your life. The unseen enemy has carefully studied your beautiful destiny, and he is absolutely terrified of your future. He knows that if you ever realize your true power, you will permanently shatter his dark kingdom. So he uses a slow and draining exhaustion to make you quit. He does not usually use loud thunderstorms to destroy a mighty warrior. He prefers to use the slow drip of endless frustration to erode your holy confidence over time. He creates strange financial blockages just when you are about to succeed. He stirs up sudden arguments with the people you deeply love to keep you totally distracted and drained. You have watched your grand plans fall apart right in front of your tired eyes. You felt the sharp pain of massive disappointment when the shiny illusion finally shattered. You call this season a terrible tragedy because your fragile heart is deeply broken. But I call this sudden destruction of your worldly dreams an absolute masterpiece of grace. You are deeply mourning the tragic loss of a life that was never meant for you. You cried bitterly when the fake foundation cracked and crumbled right under your feet. But I allowed that fragile structure to violently collapse for a very specific reason. If you had built your entire future on that lie, the ultimate fall would have completely killed you. The painful disillusionment you are feeling right now is actually a magnificent gift. I am aggressively stripping away your dangerous attachments to fake earthly security. You honestly thought that specific job or that specific person was your ultimate savior. I had to smash those golden idols so you could finally look up and see my face clearly. The unseen dark forces fought very hard to keep you completely blinded by those shiny illusions. They desperately wanted you to stay comfortably numb in a highly toxic environment. When I started breaking those heavy chains, the enemy panicked and launched a full assault on your mind. That is exactly why your current mental fatigue feels so heavy. You must understand that you are an immense threat to the unseen dark kingdom. The intense resistance you face daily is direct proof of your high spiritual rank. The enemy only wastes his heavy artillery on the specific targets that carry the most valuable treasure. Your unseen battle scars are essentially your holy medals of profound honor. The dark forces are desperately trying to abort your miracle right before the final delivery. They constantly whisper that you are just going crazy or losing your tired mind. They want you to voluntarily surrender your divine inheritance out of sheer emotional exhaustion, but you must absolutely refuse to drop your heavy sword in this crucial fight. I am standing right beside you in the invisible trenches of this brutal war. When your tired arms can no longer lift the heavy shield, I will hold it securely for you. The heavy spiritual fog that surrounds your mind is just a desperate smokescreen. The enemy is trying to hide the glorious fact that he has already lost the ultimate battle. Do not let this temporary illusion of defeat steal your eternal victory. You are looking at the messy debris of your shattered plans and weeping over the ashes. But I am looking at the newly cleared ground where I will soon build your massive castle. The profound emptiness you feel is simply the necessary space for the incoming miracle to land. Your physical symptoms of anxiety are just the holy alarms ringing in your spirit. They are warning you that the invisible boundary lines are currently being tested by the enemy. Instead of running away in fear, you must boldly stand your ground and fight back. You have the absolute authority to command the dark shadows to flee from your home. You have allowed the heavy spirit of heaviness to sit on your chest for far too long. You thought it was just your own personal depression or your own natural weakness. But I am telling you today that it is a foreign invader trying to steal your breath. Speak my powerful name out loud into the empty room and watch the heavy atmosphere instantly change. You must hold your holy ground and endure this uncomfortable transition. The intense pain of having your worldly illusions stripped away is very real and incredibly sharp. But what lies beneath the broken rubble of your old life will completely astound you. Listen closely, because I am about to show you exactly how to rebuild from the cold ashes. You have stood at the very edge of surrender so many times this year. You looked at the heavy sky and told me you were completely done fighting. I heard you whisper that you have absolutely nothing left to give to this broken world, and you just want to sleep forever. But quitting now would be a massive tragedy. You are standing just inches away from the grand finish line. Do not let the enemy blind you today. I am wrapping my arms around your weary spirit right now. I am speaking a deep and profound peace over your racing mind. You feel incredibly weak because you are trying to carry my massive glory in your own limited human strength. You must release that impossible burden immediately. Let your tired muscles finally relax in my safe presence. You do not have to be strong today. The terrible emptiness you feel inside is not a sign of absolute failure. It is actually a holy preparation for a massive overflow. A cup that is already full of bitter worldly water cannot receive the sweet wine of heaven. I had to empty your cup completely. It felt like a violent robbery to your natural eyes, but it was a necessary divine clearing of your soul. I know how much it hurts to be the one who always understands everyone else. You are the silent endurer who never demands any selfish attention. You sit quietly in the back of the room while others loudly demand their daily blessings. I have seen your quiet faithfulness in the dark. I have carefully measured your silent obedience. Your hidden loyalty is your greatest treasure. We must revisit the heavy door that recently slammed in your face. You are still mourning that sudden loss and wondering what you did wrong. You did absolutely nothing wrong. The enemy wanted you to walk through that specific door because there was a deadly trap hidden right behind it. I slammed it shut to save your beautiful life. The delay is always my quiet protection. I need you to fully embrace this eternal truth today. If your heart resonates with this truth, let your soul silently agree right now. You do not need to speak a single loud word. Just let your spirit align completely with my perfect will. When you finally stop fighting my gentle hand, the heavy anxiety will melt away. You will find true rest in the middle of this raging storm. Surrender is never a sign of pathetic weakness in my heavenly kingdom. It is the ultimate display of massive spiritual power. When you surrender your broken plans to me, you officially transfer the heavy battle to my capable shoulders. The dark forces cannot defeat me. They tremble at the very mention of my holy name. Give me your messy pieces so I can build a true masterpiece. Do not be ashamed of the hot tears that are falling right now. Every single tear is washing away years of accumulated bitter pain. You have swallowed your deep grief for so long to make other people feel perfectly comfortable. This sacred moment is just for you. Let the heavy walls completely crumble. I am right here holding you tightly while you finally let the toxic poison out. You are walking through the most difficult transition of your entire life. The old version of you is slowly dying, and the new warrior is emerging from the cold ashes. This painful process feels incredibly violent to your limited earthly senses. A caterpillar truly believes the world is ending right before it gains its beautiful wings. Your current darkness is just a temporary cocoon. I am teaching you how to walk in the dark without losing your holy balance. You must trust the internal compass I firmly placed inside your heart. The loud voices of the world will constantly try to pull you back into the familiar chaos. They will tell you that my grand promises are just foolish dreams. You must completely ignore their bitter noise and keep your eyes fixed on my light. Your long season of wandering in the dry desert is coming to a beautiful end. The heavy boots you have worn for years are finally coming off your tired feet. I am leading you toward a quiet stream of living water where your soul can fully recover. You have fought a very good fight. You have kept your fragile faith alive even when the violent winds tried to blow it out entirely. But you must stay incredibly alert right now. The enemy always launches his most desperate attack just moments before your grand victory. He will try to make you severely doubt everything I have spoken to you today. He wants you to retreat into your dark shell of fear. Stand your holy ground. The spiritual atmosphere is heavily shifting, and a massive breakthrough is truly imminent. You are not the same broken person who started this painful journey. The intense fire has burned away your childish illusions and forged a solid core of steel. You thought you were breaking apart, but you were actually breaking wide open. The magnificent treasure hidden deep inside you is finally ready to be revealed. Prepare your heart, because the glorious wait is almost over. Listen to me now, with your fullest attention. Do not let your mind wander back to the anxieties of tomorrow. The spiritual atmosphere in your home is shifting violently right at this exact second. You have felt a sudden increase in your daily frustration lately. And while you might think this is just a random string of bad luck, the unseen enemy is actually in a total panic because his time is up. He knows that your long season of painful waiting is officially expiring today. He clearly sees the massive angels gathering around your borders to bring your divine compensation. And because he realizes his terrible reign of terror is finally ending, he is throwing every desperate weapon he has left at your incredibly tired mind. He wants you to drop your sword. You are just 1 inch from the finish line. You must wake up and recognize this final invisible attack right now. The sudden arguments out of nowhere are just a cheap and predictable distraction. The unexpected financial hurdles are a pathetic smokescreen designed to make you completely lose your holy focus. He desperately wants you looking down at the messy dirt of your problems instead of looking up at the glorious breaking dawn. Do not fall for this dirty trick. You are dealing with an adversary who uses your own deep exhaustion against you. He whispers that giving up is the only logical choice because you are so tired. But you must loudly declare that your immense strength does not come from your physical body, because your absolute power comes directly from the eternal throne of heaven. You are anchored to an unshakable solid rock. You will not be completely moved. I am urgently calling you to tighten your heavy spiritual armor right now. You cannot afford to be passive in this incredibly crucial hour of your life. The dark forces are furiously trying to abort your miracle right before the final delivery happens. They want to steal the massive harvest you have carefully watered with your bitter tears for many long and painful years. You must stand fiercely as the ultimate gatekeeper. Every time you feel that crushing weight on your chest, you must fight back. Speak my holy name into the empty room and watch the dark shadows violently scatter. The enemy simply cannot stand the sound of absolute authority coming directly from your mouth. You have lived like a helpless victim for far too long, and I am finally waking up the dormant warrior inside your weary soul today. It is time to take your power back. We are approaching the very peak of this intense and dangerous spiritual mountain. The incredibly thin air makes it extremely hard for you to catch your breath. The heavy resistance makes every single step feel like pure and exhausting agony. But you must remember that this extreme pressure only happens right at the glorious summit when the ultimate victory is finally within your reach. You have survived the storms. I know you are bleeding from the hidden wounds of past betrayals today. I know your heart is heavily scarred by the people who callously walked away when you needed them most. But those painful losses were completely necessary to lighten your load for this steep climb, because you simply could not carry their toxic weight into this new dimension. They were never meant to cross this line. The sudden rejection you cried over was actually my aggressive and loving protection. I stripped away the false friends, so you would have to rely entirely on my divine guidance. And now you stand here perfectly positioned for the greatest revelation of your entire journey. The spiritual alarm is loudly ringing across the high heavens right at this very moment, and the vast army of radiant light is aggressively taking its final formation. You must absolutely refuse to back down from this massive fight. Let the weak version of yourself permanently die on this rough and rocky mountain today. The fearful child who constantly apologized for taking up space is completely and forever gone. You are now stepping into the heavy shoes of a generational cycle breaker, and the massive chains of poverty and depression are literally trembling around your ankles. You are about to break them all. The unseen darkness truly thought it had successfully buried you alive forever. It threw heavy dirt on your beautiful dreams and loudly celebrated your absolute destruction. But it foolishly forgot that you are a powerful divine seed planted by my hand. The dirt of disappointment only activated your profound potential, and you are about to violently break through the surface to shock everyone who doubted you. Your blooming will be undeniable. Your final test is to hold your holy peace while the chaos violently rages outside. You do not need to figure out how the impossible math of this situation will work. You do not need to manipulate broken people to get the beautiful outcome you desperately want. Heaven is already handling the massive logistics behind the scenes, so your only assignment is to stand incredibly still and watch my mighty hand move. I will fight this terrible battle for you. The final countdown to your massive deliverance has officially begun today. The heavy courtroom doors of heaven are swinging wide open with absolute and terrifying power. The Supreme Judge is taking his exalted seat to deeply review your long and painful case. Every single tear you shed in secret is being brought forward as solid evidence, and every terrible injustice you quietly suffered is about to be violently overturned. The scales of justice are finally tipping back. Prepare your tired heart for a massive and completely beautiful shock. The divine compensation that is coming will completely overwhelm your tired and logical human mind. The enemy will be forced to watch as I set a magnificent table for you right in the middle of this dark battlefield. Do not close your eyes for 1 second, because the insane miracle you thought was entirely lost is standing directly in front of you right now. You are finally ready to receive it all. The supreme courtroom of heaven is now officially open over your weary life. I have taken my rightful seat as the ultimate judge. The heavy books that currently record every single moment of your painful history are being laid wide open right now. The dark enemy who constantly accused you day and night is permanently commanded to step back and remain completely silent. He has absolutely no authority in this holy room. I am carefully examining the massive evidence of your long suffering. I see the exact moments people cruelly took advantage of your pure heart. You gave them your absolute best, and they repaid you with bitter betrayal. You thought nobody noticed when you wept alone on the cold bathroom floor, but every single tear was securely bottled and brought directly to my high altar as undeniable proof of your immense agony. The unseen forces that quietly drained your finances have been totally exposed today. They operated quietly in the dark to steal the beautiful harvest you worked so incredibly hard to build over the years. You watched your precious opportunities suddenly vanish right before your tired eyes. You truly thought you were just cursed with endless bad luck, but I am exposing the massive spiritual theft that happened right behind your back. I am deeply reviewing the painful years the enemy stole from you. You feel like you wasted your days wandering in a dry desert. You look at your empty hands and honestly wonder how you will ever completely recover from this terrible and heartbreaking loss. But you are standing in the ultimate court of divine justice right now, and I do not just offer a simple apology for the terrible things you endured. I officially mandate a total and complete restoration. The heavy shame that was unjustly placed entirely upon your shoulders is being permanently lifted. People spoke cruel lies about your character to make themselves look completely innocent. You stayed quiet because you did not want to cause a chaotic scene. You let them win the worldly argument to protect your fragile peace. But heaven heard the absolute truth, and the divine record is completely clear and loudly speaking in your favor today. A massive shift is violently shaking the spiritual atmosphere right at this very moment. The rusty chains of generational poverty and depression are snapping in half. The toxic cycles that completely destroyed your ancestors will absolutely stop with you. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. I am handing you the heavy gavel of authority to completely smash the dark altars that kept your family in endless bondage. The dark shadows that haunted your mind are fleeing in absolute terror. They know the supreme verdict is about to be officially read out loud. They tried to exhaust you into quitting right before this magnificent court session began. They desperately wanted you to voluntarily surrender your case before the righteous judge could clearly see the massive evidence today. But you bravely stayed in the brutal fight for your life. Now you will finally witness my glorious vengeance. Do not seek cheap revenge against the broken people who deeply hurt you. They are completely irrelevant to the massive destiny I am building for you. Leave their absolute judgment entirely in my capable hands. I know exactly how to perfectly balance the holy scales of divine justice. Your only job is to stand tall and keep your pure heart completely free from the toxic poison of bitter hatred. You must let me fight this terrible war. I am officially issuing a divine mandate of supreme protection over your entire household today. The invisible boundary lines around your life are being reinforced with blinding heavenly fire. The familiar spirits that constantly brought chaos to your doorstep are permanently evicted. They can never cross this holy threshold again. You will finally sleep in profound peace every single night without the heavy anxiety constantly crushing your tired and aching chest. The divine law of the glorious kingdom clearly states that when a thief is caught, he must repay everything he stole. The enemy has been caught red-handed in my Supreme Court today. I am not just returning what you lost. I am mandating a double portion of massive blessing for every single trouble you endured. Your long season of terrible weeping is finally over, and your glorious season of rich harvesting is rapidly beginning right now. The heavy doors that were violently jammed shut by dark forces are bursting wide open. The financial pathways that were completely blocked are being cleared by my massive angels. You will soon see sudden and unexpected provision flow directly into your empty hands. People you do not even know will be strongly compelled to bless you, because this is the undeniable power of a heavenly verdict rapidly manifesting in your physical world. Prepare your weary soul for the ultimate coronation. You walked into this holy courtroom as a broken and exhausted victim, but you are about to walk out as a fierce and victorious ruler. The heavy mantle of divine authority is hovering right over your head. Do not shrink back in fear when the massive weight of my glory finally lands heavily on your weary shoulders today. You were perfectly designed for this exact moment in eternal history. I am standing at the very center of your life to deliver the final verdict, and the time of agonizing delay is officially over today. I am speaking the ultimate word of power into your broken reality right now. Every single force of darkness must completely bow down to this eternal decree because heaven has spoken. You are receiving your insane miracle today. This breakthrough will make absolutely no sense to the logical minds around you, and people will look at your sudden rise and wonder how it was even possible. They will see the dry desert suddenly bloom with massive rivers of living water. It is the undeniably insane miracle I promised you from the very beginning. You are finally tasting the sweet victory. Take off the heavy garments of survival. Today I permanently place upon your tired shoulders the royal mantle of the cycle breaker. You are no longer an abandoned battlefield because you are a guarded fortress of my divine power. The terrible chains of lack and brokenness that bound your family for generations stop right here. They completely shatter today with you. I command the hidden wealth of the wicked to be rapidly transferred into your righteous hands. Every single opportunity that was violently stolen from you is being replaced with a double portion of grace. You are the chosen heir to my eternal promises, and an heir does not beg for crumbs on the dirty floor, but an heir boldly sits at the grand table of the king. Your physical body is being deeply restored right at this exact moment, and I am sending a powerful wave of healing light to wash over your exhausted nervous system. The heavy anxiety that paralyzed your chest is completely dissolving into nothingness. You will breathe deeply again. You will sleep with the profound peace of a highly protected child tonight. The people who loudly mocked your painful struggles will be forced to quietly watch your glorious coronation. I am preparing a magnificent feast for you, right in the presence of your unseen enemies. They thought they had successfully destroyed your beautiful destiny, but they merely set the dark stage for my glorious light to shine the brightest, and you are entirely untouchable now. Do not look back at the dark ruins of your old life. The heavy doors behind you are permanently sealed by my sovereign hand, so you cannot return to the painful places where you were deeply broken. I am thrusting you forward into a massive season of total abundance. Your silent endurance has officially birthed a monumental harvest. You are no longer a helpless passenger carried along by directions you did not choose, but you are the one placed in the supreme position of captain over this magnificent journey. Take the heavy wheel of your destiny today. Speak my words into the raging storm and watch the chaotic waves instantly flatten. You carry the absolute authority of the high heavens. The agonizing delay has accomplished its perfect work in your soul. The long season of quiet preparation has been completely fulfilled today. Every bitter tear you sowed in the hidden dark place has accumulated into a tidal wave of massive grace. I am opening the heavy doors you thought were permanently locked forever. Step boldly forward into your new reality. This is the exact moment everything completely changes for you, because the insane miracle is no longer a distant promise floating in the clouds. It is manifesting right here in your physical world today. Reach out your empty hands and receive the massive overflow. I am flooding your empty places with a joy so profound it will literally take your breath away. You have finally crossed the dangerous threshold. The brutal war that raged in your mind for years is officially over today. You are the ultimate victor standing on the highest mountain peak. Let out a massive shout of holy triumph right now. The Dark Kingdom has fallen, and your glorious reign of peace and abundance is rapidly beginning right at this second. No weapon ever formed against your beautiful life will ever prosper again. I have stamped my royal seal of absolute protection over your entire family line. You are covered, you are chosen, and you are deeply loved beyond all human measure. Rest in the magnificent glory of this supreme victory today, because you have finally reached the promised land. Your victory today is rewriting the ancient history of your entire bloodline. The unborn generations will quietly thank you because you chose to stand firm in the violent fire. You broke the terrible curses so they could easily walk in complete freedom. This insane miracle is rippling forward into the distant future to protect your precious children forever. You were the silent endurer who carried the massive pain alone, but you will never have to hide in the dark shadows again. I am bringing your beautiful light out into the absolute open for the entire world to clearly see. You will become a mighty pillar of hope for other broken souls who are currently trapped in the same dark dungeon you just escaped. Wear your royal crown with absolute confidence today. You earned these heavy stripes in the brutal trenches of spiritual warfare. Do not let anyone make you feel small or arrogant, because you finally know your true worth. You are a masterpiece forged in the hottest fire, and heaven is standing in complete ovation for your incredible bravery right now. Now let every single heavy burden slide completely off your shoulders, because the violent storm has finally passed. Let your racing heart settle like still waters after the fierce wind has ceased. You no longer have to fight the terrible battles that belong entirely to me. Take a very deep breath right now, and gently release your tight grip on the anxious worries of tomorrow while I hold you completely safe. Step out of the loud battlefield and walk directly into my quiet garden. You have worn your heavy metal armor for so many lonely years. You forgot how the warm sun feels on your bare skin. Unclasp the heavy shield from your tired arms today, and drop the heavy sword gently onto the soft grass where you stand. There are absolutely no enemies hiding in this sacred space. I am wrapping a warm blanket of eternal peace around your shivering soul today. You are completely safe here in my arms. Close your weary eyes and listen to the gentle sound of my living water. It is washing away every bitter memory of the dark dungeon, and the deep scars on your heart are turning into beautiful marks of grace. You are completely whole again. You do not have to fiercely defend yourself anymore against the cruel world. You do not need to constantly explain your massive value to people who refuse to see your light. Let them walk away with their false assumptions. Their loud opinions cannot touch the magnificent reality I have built for you, because you are entirely free from the heavy chains of human approval. Breathe in this absolute freedom. I am placing a supernatural calmness deep inside your tired chest. It is a profound peace that completely defies all normal human logic. Even if the chaotic world outside continues to rage loudly, your internal sanctuary will remain perfectly still and completely untouched. You will look at massive mountains and feel absolutely no fear. You know I have already leveled the rough path. Rest your aching head gently against my chest today. Listen to the steady rhythm of my eternal heartbeat. Every single beat is loudly declaring my massive love for your beautiful soul. I have loved you since before the ancient foundations of the earth were laid, and I love you even more in your beautiful surrender today. You are my precious treasure. You do not have to bravely hold the entire universe together anymore. The massive sky will not fall just because you finally decide to close your eyes and sleep. I am the sovereign creator of all living things. I am carefully holding your fragile world in the palm of my hand so you can let the heavy responsibility completely go right now. You are just my beloved child. The agonizing season of bitter tears has officially been washed away forever. You have safely crossed over into the promised land of milk and honey. The ground beneath your feet is incredibly soft and very fertile. You will finally plant beautiful gardens and eat their sweet fruit in perfect peace. Because the bitter days of brutal famine are permanently erased, your new life is blooming. I am completely restoring the gentle laughter that the enemy cruelly stole from your home. Your quiet rooms will echo with deep joy once again. You will sit at your table and look around at the massive blessings I have provided, and you will quietly weep tears of profound gratitude instead of bitter pain, because the terrible nightmare is truly and completely over today. You have finally woken up. You survived the darkest night of your entire life. You walked straight through the roaring fire without getting burned. Now you get to enjoy the beautiful warmth of the morning sun. I am incredibly proud of your silent endurance, and you kept the fragile faith alive when the fierce winds tried to blow it out entirely. Receive your glorious reward with wide open arms. Lean deeply into this beautiful new season of absolute rest. Do not look for hidden traps in the bright light. When things start going incredibly well, do not panic. Do not wait for the other shoe to suddenly drop, because this massive blessing is entirely real and permanently secured with my own holy blood. It cannot be taken away. You are a magnificent pillar of radiant light in this dark world. You are standing incredibly tall in the messy ruins of the enemy. The toxic cycle is finally broken forever. Your future generations will walk in the wide paths of absolute freedom because you bravely fought this terrible war for them. You have secured a massive inheritance. Let the quiet stillness completely fill every dark corner of your tired mind. Give yourself permission to truly enjoy this profound rest. You have spent your entire life aggressively pushing forward. Now it is time to simply sit back and receive. So open your hands and let my continuous provision flow directly into your peaceful life. The difficult work is completely finished. The heavy court session is officially over. The magnificent verdict has been fully executed across the heavens. I have gone before you to make every crooked path perfectly straight. My bright seal of absolute protection is firmly upon your house, and my eternal grace will cover your family for all the coming years. You are completely safe. You are profoundly loved. The spiritual clock is striking, my beloved child. The heavy door of your new season stands wide open right now. You must not let the familiar spirit of procrastination steal your beautiful breakthrough for one more day. The unseen enemy desperately wants you to hesitate. He wants you to tell yourself you will simply claim this massive blessing tomorrow. Do not let him win this battle today. Tomorrow is the favorite hiding place of the cruel thief. Heaven absolutely requires your physical obedience right at this exact moment. You must take a physical step of faith today to permanently seal this holy covenant. Break the terrible silence that has held you captive for so long. Let your fingers write down a powerful declaration of absolute victory today. Write, "I receive my restoration" in the comments below to seal this truth. You are not writing this to impress anyone in the physical world. You are literally signing a binding legal document in the Supreme Court of Heaven today. This simple physical action completely prevents the dark forces from ever returning to steal your divine inheritance again. Take your power back. Go ahead and like this message today. Do this not as a shallow outward gesture of internet approval. Do it as a firm physical sign that you completely agree with the righteous decree of heaven. Your simple obedience is a massive hammer that shatters the chains of poverty in your family. Every single act of earthly faith creates a massive echo in the spiritual realm. When you share my holy word with broken people, you become a powerful channel. You allow magnificent miracles to flow directly into their dark and lonely homes. You are literally pulling another wounded soul out of the exact same dungeon you just escaped. I carefully watch every time you choose to spread my eternal light. I will absolutely reward your generous faithfulness. When you keep a message like this saved, I see it as a beautiful memorial. You are laying down strong stones on the path of returning to me when your mind feels weak. The enemy will definitely try to make you forget everything you heard today. He loves to steal the holy seed before it can grow deep roots. You must actively guard this powerful revelation. Now let every remaining heavy burden slide completely off your weary shoulders. The intense spiritual battle is officially over. Let your racing heart settle peacefully like still waters after the violent wind has entirely ceased. You no longer have to fight the terrible battles that belong strictly to me. Take a very deep breath and release your tight grip on tomorrow. Step freely into the living and powerful current of my eternal grace today. I always go before you to make the rough and dangerous path perfectly smooth. I dwell permanently within your beautiful heart, and I officially seal this magnificent promise over your fragile life forever. You are completely safe from the raging storm. My bright shield of protection is firmly secured. Thank you for boldly receiving this prophetic message from heaven today. I need you to know a very profound truth about your sacred identity before you leave this place. You are absolutely not merely an audience casually drifting through the noisy internet. You are an entirely chosen vessel. You are the fierce cycle breaker who completely smashed the ancient family chains. You are the vigilant gatekeeper of your entire bloodline. You no longer stand helpless at the threshold because I have officially handed you the heavy iron keys. You will determine exactly what enters your peaceful home from now on. Sickness and poverty are permanently locked outside. Abundance and profound joy are freely welcomed into your beautiful sanctuary. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell today. You need to live daily in the powerful presence of my living word. This is exactly how you maintain your shining holy armor in a very dark world. I want you to be completely prepared whenever I release a new heavenly strategy. You will never miss another vital message from the High Throne. You belong to a massive global army of silent endurers who finally found their mighty voice. We are actively building a glorious kingdom of unbreakable light together. Every time you return to listen to my voice, your spiritual muscles grow incredibly strong. You are aggressively building an unshakable foundation for the massive harvest that is coming to your family. Walk proudly forward into your bright tomorrow with absolute and unshakable confidence. The invisible chains are completely broken. The heavy generational debt is fully paid by my grace, and the glorious harvest is rapidly multiplying in your open hands right now. Keep your tired eyes firmly fixed on my eternal light. I am fiercely guiding your every single step today. Do not look back at the dark ruins of the painful life you left behind. The old version of you is permanently gone. You are stepping into a profound season of endless favor and massive divine acceleration. People will look at your incredible life and know that my hand is upon you. You are a walking miracle. May my deep and eternal peace remain with you forever. Amen.